Hello, welcome back to session 18, and this time we're looking at adding a 3-digit number and a 2-digit number with an exchange. So we're going to be regrouping as well with that. Okay, so you'll need in this session either place value counters or base 10. You can use a number line if you like as well to help you. So first thing we're going to do is recap on yesterday's session on addition 17. Have a go at adding together these two. Add 218 and 30 and add 326 and 30. Once you've had a go at those, then have a go at this one, 356 and 60. Think carefully about this one. Can you do them all mentally? What you're going to do. So pause it and have a go at those ones. Okay, so these two here, hopefully you did these mentally, because if you look at the tens column, we're just adding tens into the tens column. The ones digit and the hundreds digit isn't going to change. So 1 and 3 is equal to 4. So 10 and 30 is equal to 40. So it would become 248. Again, this one, we've not added any ones on, so the ones column isn't going to change. The hundreds column isn't going to change because this isn't going to go over 10. So we've got 2 and 3 tens. So hundreds, tens and ones, I'll use my related facts that 2 and 3 is equal to 5. So 20 and 30 is equal to 50. So it's going to become 350 and 6, which makes 356. Okay, coming to this one now, we're not adding any ones on, so the ones digit isn't going to, the ones column isn't going to change. But if we look here, we've got more than 9 tens here. We've got 5 and 6, which makes 11. So 50 and 60 is going to make 110. So we've got too many tens. We're only allowed 9 tens in the tens column. If we get 10 tens, that's equal to 100. So we're going to have to move it over we're going to have to do some regrouping. So let's have a look at this one, what we're going to do. So I've been having a go at making one before we started. So what I've done, I've got 100 square and I'm adding on tens to see how many tens make 100. You may already know this. How many tens make 100? Okay, so I've put on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tens, 8 tens, 9 tens, 10 tens. And you can see that 10 tens, if I pull them off here, 10 tens is the same as equal to 100. Okay, so that helps us to think about how many tens can make the next 100 here. So we've got 356 and 60. So is it just the tens that's going to change? Is anything else going to change with that? So let's have a look using the place value counters. Now you can use base 10 for this, or place value counters would work as well. So we've got 356, so I've partitioned the numbers into their relevant place value, and I'm adding on 60, so I'm adding on 6 tens. And we can see here, because I've used a tens frame, it's really visual to see that we're going to end up with more than 9 tens in our tens column. We're going to end up with making a 10 tens. So I'm going to put 5 of those on, I'm going to add 50 on, and that's going to make 10 tens is the same as, so this tens frame is now a 100 frame. 10 tens is the same as, oh, I'm losing a 10. 10 tens is the same as 100. So I'm going to, oh, the 10 doesn't want to stay with us. Like that, I'm going to move that into my hundreds column here, because 10 tens is equal to 100. So put those on, that just fallen off there. So we can exchange that to make another 100. So I'm going to exchange those 10 tens there to make 100. And now I can still do my calculation. I've got 6 here. So I've got 6 ones. So I can write this underneath. I've got 1 10. And I've got 400 there. So I can add those together. So it will make 410 and 6. So I've got 416 all together there. Now, this is a way of doing it. We're partitioning here and then making it back together again. But if we're moving on to column addition, what we would do here, we wouldn't write 10 in the columns. We would write, we've got 6 ones, 1 10, and we've got 4 hundreds, which would make 416 like that. Okay, so let's have a look at this on a number line. If we started at 356 and we wanted to add on 60, we could count forward in tens. We could go add 10 on, takes us to 366. Add another 10, takes us to 376. Another 10 takes us to 386. Another 10 is 396. Add another 10 is 406. And I've added on 5 tens. The 6th 10 is 416. What I could have done instead is just done a big jump, because I know I can think about my number bonds. I know that 5 and 5, I could split this into 50 and 10 mentally in my head. And I could think 356, well, I know that 5 and 5 gets me to a next 10, which is going to be 100. So I can put 5 on there. I know it's going to leave me with 10. So it's going to move over. So I can add on 50, that's going to take me to 406, and then just add the 10 on there, like so. Okay, what I want you to do now is have a go at these 3 questions. So use your base 10, use your place value counters. Can you do any of them mentally? So 234 add 40, 234 add 80. Rob has 162 counters. He receives 6 more bags of 10. How many does he have now? Okay, have a go at those. So pause the clip and have a go at those ones. Okay, so hopefully you did the first one mentally. So we've got 234 add 40. If we look, I'm thinking it's just the tens column that's going to change here, because I'm not adding any more ones on. And when I add 4 and 3 tens together, it's not going to be over 9 tens. So it's not going to mean that we're going to make any exchange there, because I know that 3 and 4 is equal to 7. I know that 30 and 40 is going to be equal to 70. So then I can do the calculation, 270 and 4 is equal to 274. Okay, this one, a little bit more tricky to do mentally. You could do it mentally, because I know that 3 and 7 would take me to the next multiple that would give me 10 tens. So if I put 7 on there, put 70 on there, leaves me with 10 here, that would make it 304, and then I could add my 10 on, would make it 314. Or we can look at this using place value counters. So we've got 234, add on 80. So I can make my 234. Actually use my little tens frame to see it visually. 234, and and we're adding on 80. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and I'm lining these up in little rows of 5 because that helps me see how many I've got as well. Okay, so 234, add on the 80, so I can make, I know that 3 and 7 will make 10, so 30 and 70 will make 100, so I can move that then over, every time. Move that over into the hundreds column and exchange those 10 tens for 100. So I'm going to put my 100 there. And then I can do the calculation. I've added it all together and I can do the calculation. So I can say we've got 200, add 30 and 4, partition that number like I did here. And then I'm adding on 80 and put 0 there. And then I can see that I've got 4, I've got 110, and I've got 200. So when I add those together, it gives me 310 and 4, so it makes 314. Okay. Now, if we wanted to do that as a column addition, we could think we've got 4 ones, we've got 1 10, and we've got 1 2 3 hundreds. So we get our 314 as well. Okay, this one, Rob has 162 counters in a bag. So we've got our 160 and 2, and he receives 6 more bags of 10 counters. So we're going to be adding on to our tens column. But again, we can see here that when we add on our 6 tens, what's going to happen? What's going to happen when we add on our 6 tens? So pause it, have a think about that. What's going to happen when we add on our 6 tens? Okay, so you can see we're going to end up with more than 9 tens. We're going to end up with our 6 tens and another 6 tens. We're going to end up with 12 tens in our tens column, which can't stay in the tens column because it makes 100. So I'm going to move those. I'm going to exchange now those 10 tens for every time. I'm going to exchange those 10 tens for into the hundreds column. I'm going to exchange it for 100, and then I can do the calculation. So I've got 220 and 2 now, so it makes 222. If I was doing this as a column multiplication, I'd be putting 2 there, 2 tens and 2 hundreds to make 222. Now I would probably do this mentally. What I would do is have 162, add on 6 more tens, which is 60, and I would think 60 and 40 would go together and make 202, and then I would add on the other 20 to make 222. So I would have partitioned my 60 into 40 and 20 to do that mentally. But have a go with what works. Keep practicing and you'll get better at doing things mentally, and you can keep practicing. Check your calculations mentally. Okay, final one. Have a go using the bar model for this. So there are 183 people at the rally. 50 more arrive. How many are there now at the rally? Okay, so I've done my bar model. Rather than putting the brace on, I've just done an extra bar to see we're finding out all together this. We've got 183 people and 50 more arrive. How many are there now? So pause it, have a go at that one. Okay, so 183 people at the rally. So I'm going to draw that bar quite big. We know there's 183. 50 more arrive. So we're going to find out how many there are all together. So what is this? Put together, added together. So it helps me see what I'm doing with this calculation. And I write down at the side what I'm doing, 183 add 50. Okay, so you could use, again, you can use the place value grid using base 10 or place value counters to work this out. So we start off with 183. And we're adding on 50. So, do we need to do any regrouping or exchanging? Yes, we do, because here I can see I'm going to end up with more than 9 tens in the tens column, because I'm going to put 2 of the tens on there, onto the 8 tens it's going to make. I'm going to put that into the hundreds column. The little escapee can go back there. And now we can see that with those 10 tens have made 100, and this is what we're left with. I'm going to exchange those 10 tens for 100 rather than leaving that there. And then I can see what I have got now. So I've got 3, so I've got 2 hundreds, add 30, got 200, add 30, add 3, which makes 233. Now if I wanted to do this as a column addition, what I would do is I would have hundreds, tens and ones, and you can set it out like this. You can even draw the little base 10, the 100 square, the 10 stick and the 1, or you can just use the digits if you like. So I started off with 183 and I added on 50 more. So I'm doing an addition. So 3 and 0 makes 3 ones. 8 tens and 5 tens makes 13 tens. So I'm exchanging that 10 tens here to make it 100 into, I'm not putting 10 in there, I'm just putting 100 because those 10 tens that I've just made are equal to 100, and then I can do this calculation here. 100 and 200 is equal to 233 at the rally now. Okay, so use place value counters, use your base 10, try and do it. You can do it the expanded addition method, or you can do it in the short formal addition method. It's up to you, depending on your confidence and where you are. Have a practice at the activities in the description section, and I'll see you back for the next session. Thank you, goodbye.